Hello, everyone. Welcome to Popcast on the Rocks on this fine Saturday morning brunch edition. This is episode 19 for May 23rd. And I am in living, moving color. Andrea is in color, but not the moving part.
That's right.
I,
I'm in distant lands and distant times apparently.
yeah, yep. Well,
Where, video wasn't invented yet, so, I can't unfortunately join.
that's true. There's got to be a steampunk version of a video camera, right? Just something you have to crank by hand or is steam powered.
Right, right. I'll have to invent something. I'll make
It's
me a,
pretty
a big hit.
yeah. It's pretty trash for audio, but I think that's the way the early days were anyways. The cameras were so loud,
That's
you
right.
know, not gonna be running audio off of that. Well, anyways, many technical issues. You'd think that things would just work by now. I don't know.
I
Like we're
know.
we're 19 episodes in, and that's deceiving because we missed one this week. That was my fault, but we have done many more shows than 19.
Definitely. Yeah, our Wednesday spoiler casts have kind of made it feel like we've hit at least what, like 30,
It
do you
it's
think?
yeah, it's got to be getting close to that. Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, unfortunately, just like the fun of technology sometimes
Hmm.
gives you a little
Hmm.
surprise.
Well, and sometimes you'd think that there'd be you know better solutions for some of this stuff, just like we've been trying to do our Housewives special, to separate it
Mhm.
from the rest of the podcast. I thought, because I was not involved, and I thought there'd be plenty of solutions where we can both just call one another and have that shared live on social media platforms, etc. Like, but
Right.
it seems like Facebook is the only one doing that.
Yeah, if any of our listeners know of a better, platform to do that or some sort of technology that's out there, let us know because 'cause we're stumped currently.
Hmm. Yeah, I know there's like privacy laws on some of the other stuff, with, like why you
Mhm.
can't, record. But I don't know. I think streaming would be, I don't know. Whatever. Anyways, we're here today, and it's a brunch edition. So, do you have a brunch-ish drink at
I
all?
absolutely do. I've got a mimosa rockin'.
Nice.
How
That's
about
good.
yourself?
Yeah, I made a Bloody Mary.
Mm.
I'll show mine because people see it's small. It's not fancy or anything like that.
Yeah, where's your, like, 60 condiments? Where's your, like, cheese stick and pickle and
Mhm.
donut or, whatever you wanna put on there?
Well, certainly sometimes I do that, but I didn't want to be eating on stream. You could be eating on stream.
I know, that's
I
the
mean,
beauty of
your
it. No
images
one
of
will
you
never
eating.
know. That's
Yeah.
right. I don't even know what I'm eating, but looks good.
Yeah, I think it's those pierogies or something.
Oh, yes. Oh, those are delicious.
So, oh my God, we should be blurring those people's faces in the background. They did not provide consent, to be honest.
That's right. Sorry,
uh,
guys.
yeah. But yeah, I know often Bloody Marys are fancy and very large and stuff, and I don't like a big one.
Okay.
I love the flavor punch of the elements involved, but I get tired of it by a full glass. So like a whiskey glass's worth is perfect for me.
Okay. 2 comments on that. I don't like a big one is now obviously going to have to be our title. I mean,
My gosh.
like,
Yeah.
how can it not be now? Um,
Okay.
so 2 then, question, like, when you do have a Bloody Mary, like, what do you like for fancy toppings? Because I know there's, like, a range out there, and I know some
Yeah.
people like the sort of savory, like, "Oh, I get, like, a chicken wing and a hard-boiled egg," or some people are like, "No, I like a little, donut or mini pastry." So,
Hmm.
we know your size preferences now, John. What are your topping preferences?
Yeah.
Or accompaniment preferences? I don't know which
Mhm.
way that should go.
Well, I was trying to think if there's some toppings I could say, and that they would sound sexual as well, but I guess can't think of them in the moment. So, um, Yeah, I don't know. I don't mind when there's sometimes a beer and they serve with a mini donut or something like
Yeah,
that. But
salad.
um on a Bloody Mary, when I'm making it at home, use just whatever I have. So it's nice to have a meat stick in there and then make a skewer of olives and cheese and
Okay.
maybe a pepper or something like that if you got it. But so I'm okay with any of that stuff, I guess.
Okay, just
Um,
depending on what you're in the mood for.
yep, and whatever's in the fridge. Like we got garlic, throw some of that on there.
Sure.
So, do you have preferences as far as that's concerned, or
I do. I mean, not like terribly strong because I can't say that like bloodies are a, regular thing for me, but I definitely prefer a savory, you know,
Mhm. Yeah,
accompaniment. We went to Axel's Bonfire, and
okay,
they were running a special one morning, and it was like a donut and like a little mini cheesecake and then a beer chaser.
okay.
And it just, like, I don't know if it was just, like, that it was only sweet stuff that was there, or if it was just, like, the cheesecake was a little too sweet, but I was
Mhm.
not in love with that.
Yeah, it
Um,
doesn't sound great.
it
I'm
wasn't,
I'm not
unfortunately.
a
Like,
fan of the
the
beer chaser either.
yeah, like, the bloody itself was actually really good,
Okay.
but then everything that came with it sort of just, like, turned me off, so
Yeah.
it was unfortunate.
Um. Well, my yeah, I don't know if I've actually ordered someone that's come with something sweet. Seen other
Mhm.
people do that, but my thing with Bloody Marys is I was on the first one I had was on a river cruise, and they have their little
Mm.
bar. This is not
Mhm.
a fancy river cruise, just a regular one.
Mhm.
And someone that I was with who'd set it up for their birthday, he says you should try one, and so I did, and I was turned off to Bloody Marys for a very long time because
Oh.
it was literally vodka and tomato juice,
Oh, sure.
and I just made me gag. I was no, this is not good. So it took
Right.
me a while before I was able to appreciate it again or at all. Um, and I have to say, it's a plug for I think they're a local company, Fast Marys. Have you heard of them?
No, I haven't.
Best Bloody Mary mix I've ever tried,
Okay.
by far. They have
Taking
a
notes.
Yeah, they have a mild or whatever and a spicy,
Okay.
and you can then make a delicious because normally it's like it becomes an art. Like, okay, you're gonna make a good Bloody Mary, so I'm gonna put in my vodka, and I'm
Mhm.
gonna start like, oh, I have Worcestershire and little like pickle juice, and then my Bloody Mary mix and tomato juice, and like you hope it's all right, and you tasted some, and then you're sitting there trying to like doctor it. Stop, stop
Right.
doing it. Buy Fast Mary's Bloody Mary mix. They should be a sponsor. Let's reach out to them. And they just all you need is you can do like your however many shots of vodka you want, and then you can just do literally 2 ounces of this stuff, and then top
Okay.
up with tomato juice, and it's delicious. It's all you need to do.
Okay. All right. I will try this out. I'm definitely a spicy Bloody Mary kind of person.
Okay. Yep.
So I
So.
get very particular about like levels of spice.
Mhm.
Because it can very quickly go wrong when you're trying to do like too many things in
Yep.
there.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're let's see, you're sitting, you're trying to concoct things, and you mess it up or whatever.
Right.
It takes all the fuss out of it,
All
and it's
right.
delicious. So,
All right. Trying it out.
yep. Well, that's our a bit of drinking stuff. There is the rest of your week been all right? I mean, I know we talked a little bit. We didn't get that posted yet, but talked a little bit the other night about housewives.
Right.
Um, Anything else
Yeah.
going on?
My week's been all right. I gave blood on Wednesday, so that was an adventure. Um, very like it sort of like brought. I mean, I don't want to talk about this too extensively, but it sort of brought you know the whole coronavirus pandemic a little bit home because everybody was in masks and gloves and like
Mm.
just extra protective gear. My temperature was taken 4 times
Oh,
before I was able to give blood,
wow.
which I mean, part of me thought was excessive, but part of me thought like, well, I mean, obviously you want to be careful because, this isn't like just some like um, casual contact where I could or couldn't give someone the virus if I didn't know about it. This is like my actual, blood that I'd be
Yep.
donating. So it's like if I have it, it's a pretty much a guarantee that whoever gets my blood donation gets it too. So, but it definitely was just like, wow, okay, like, real precautions here.
They could
So,
probably just take your temperature once with a traditional thermometer, and then you'd be, because I'm sure it's like twofold. Probably one, user error, if someone
yep.
messed it up or, something like that. But then two, just, is this device working? Because I'm sure it
Mhm.
was a digital instant thing, right?
It
Swipe
was,
the
yeah.
forehead or something like that.
That the first one was the second and third times was like the old fashioned thermometer.
Oh, they did. Okay.
Yeah,
Like
yep.
stick it in your mouth, holding your tongue.
Yep, yep.
Okay. Hmm.
So yeah, they were just like super, super careful, which
Sure.
I mean is good, but I definitely was like feeling a little bit like, oh my God, are like they concerned that I have
Yeah.
something? But
It
then I saw other people get their temperature taken as many times. I was like, all right, this is just procedure now.
Maybe if it what if it just escalated? Then you get real
Right.
worried. So you'd be like, okay, forehead, okay. Then you go to the next station, ear. All right, get
Right.
your ear. Then you do it on
Right.
the tongue, all right. Then you got on the armpit. And then I mean there's only one more location to
I
take
know, right?
all right, you're good. You're good. We've checked.
Finally, I'm good. We've
Yep.
checked every possible orifice.
Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, luckily, it didn't escalate, but yeah, it was definitely like an experience. But that was actually probably the longest part of giving blood for me because I donated in 5 minutes. So
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm a quick donator because I get
Yeah.
nervous about needles. So like my blood definitely
It
pumps quick.
knows. Yeah. Oh,
It
okay.
knows.
Yeah. Get this
Yeah,
over with. Yeah.
that's right.
Okay.
But yeah, other than that, my week's been pretty good. How about yourself?
Well, I don't want to get into either because I really don't like talking about it. But yeah,
Right.
our dog was attacked by another dog, and it wasn't good. So, but he's
Yeah.
doing he's doing good now. He's recovering. Just has a few antibiotics and pain pills to take. So,
Did he I mean, I don't wanna dwell too long, but did he need, like, some serious stitches, or was it just, like, a couple, or
I don't know if it was 5 stitches, maybe something like that.
okay.
So, yeah,
Poor Dobby. I'm
yep,
sorry.
definitely could have been worse, but
Yeah, it's
nothing.
scary. We've had a dog attack Ivy as well, and it's very frightening, in the
Hmm.
moment, like, you just sort of, like, get a visceral reaction, and you just kinda I don't know, there's, like, adrenaline in your body, and you just kinda
Oh yeah,
move, swipe them away.
yep, yep. Well, in cheerier things, I mean, I guess it's always a double edged sword for me, but in cheerier things,
Mhm.
The Empire Strikes Back, Star
Whoop,
Wars
whoop.
Episode 5 turned 40. It's
That's
older than we
right.
are.
That's right.
Not
Not
that
by a
that's a
whole lot,
surprise.
but yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
So I want to say something about this really quick because um I did some trivia, like Trivia Mafia does digital trivia online.
Hmm.
And we did some Trivia Mafia yesterday night. Um and they brought up Empire Strikes Back and that it was the
Oh,
40th anniversary. And they were saying that Empire Strikes Back is actually only, I think, the seventh highest rated sequel. And they were at so it's yeah, so it's like the seventh highest rated sequel to a movie, and they
okay.
were asking what the highest rated sequel was. And we guessed it, but
Mm,
like I wouldn't say that it's better. It's Toy Story 2.
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was just sort of like,
Hmm.
I can't believe that Empire Strikes Back only ranks seventh highest among sequels.
Is
You
this
know what?
like via Metacritic or something? So it's
I
kind of the average or
I think so. I mean, he didn't cite his source, but so you just
okay.
sort of like have to go with it. But I don't know. I thought it would be higher. Like Empire Strikes Back for me is like one of the best sequels. all
Yeah.
time to any series. So I was thinking, I mean, maybe it didn't need to be first, but maybe like at least like third or fourth or something.
Well, yeah, what else is out there that's I mean, so are they considering like James Bond other than one is all sequels? So does
Right.
any of those count as sequels or is it the immediately the one that immediately precedes the
Right.
original?
Like it has to be like
So that'd
2
be
or
like
something.
from Russia with Love or something.
Right. I know From Russia with Love is up there.
Okay.
Um
Because what
but yeah,
else would
th-
be what else was there?
well, my first guess, I was not thinking Disney. Like I wasn't in the Disney mindset at all. So when somebody said Toy Story 2, I was like, "Oh, okay." I was
Mhm.
thinking Aliens actually,
Okay.
which
Yeah.
it looks is also high up there. I think it's maybe number 6.
Okay.
S- Um but yeah, it just like kind of blew my mind a little bit that like Toy Story 2 was the highest rated sequel and it was going to be over Empire Strikes Back.
Hmm. And
Cuz I actually
I
didn't
s
like Toy Story 2, so maybe that's why I'm having
okay.
such a hard time with it, but yeah.
I bring up, I mean, I just keep having questions, and then it's like,
Mhm.
well, sequel, Indiana Jones, technically Raiders of the Lost Ark is a sequel to
Right.
Temple of Doom,
Right.
even though Temple of Doom is the second one to come out. So what are they counting? Are they counting story chronological order, or just when it was released?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm
Hmm.
guessing I'm guessing they're thinking release.
Yeah,
Because I think chronological order would get very, very
get
confusing very
messy.
quickly. Yeah.
Hmm.
'Cause then you'd
Yeah.
have, like, sequels that are like, I mean, even going to Star Wars, you have sequels that are prequels, you know what I
Yep.
mean?
Mhm.
So, I think they're thinking chronological order, but
The
yeah, I don't know,
Dark
just
Knight. The Dark Knight has to be up
totally,
there.
totally, yes. Dark Knight and Godfather 2 are up there.
That's what I first thought of when it's like, okay,
Oh, okay,
sequels.
yeah.
I thought Godfather 2 is acclaimed. Then there was one other one I was just thinking of
Okay,
as well that would have been and then Batman Returns. To me, I know that would be probably controversial. To me, Batman
sure.
Returns is really, really good, and better than the original Batman. But
It looks like it's up there, not before Empire Strikes Back, though. I'm seeing a lot of, like, Captain America: Winter Soldier.
oh, that's a good one to me. Yeah.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah. Which, yeah.
Spider-Man 2, X-Men 2. Yeah, we get some other
Yep.
superhero movies. Yeah.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought that was really interesting. It just totally threw me in trivia. Like I
Yeah.
don't know why. I was probably having a hard time thinking of the answer because I was so focused on the fact that it was 7th and I thought it should be higher. So
Yeah. No, I agree. I totally agree. I think that Empire Strikes Back is still the best Star Wars film. We went over our lists before of that, but
yep. Yeah, it's number
um,
2 for me.
okay. Was it was it for that A New Hope that was best for you because of
Yep.
its impact and stuff, and like it's
Yes.
the original? Okay.
Yep. Yeah, so yeah, Star Wars for me starts out like I rank them chronologically 1, 2 to start, and then I've got others before Return of the Jedi.
Okay. So I was wondering because we did a while back our perfect movies list, and I was wondering if I
Right?
should have put this on it. And I was thinking,
Ooh.
that I maybe should have because what's wrong with this film by itself? What's wrong
Mhm.
with this film other than like okay, you could say ends with a cliffhanger kind of thing,
Yeah,
you
but I
know?
mean, that's okay. I mean,
Mhm.
I think plenty of movies that know that they're going to have other parts end with like vague cliffhangers. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Or at least unfinished storylines. You know what I mean? Like there's definitely a sense of like if you know you're in a trilogy, like you can end a movie and be like, "All right, like we're going to address this next time."
Yep.
Marvel does it. Um
Yep.
especially when what am I thinking of? Oh, I'm thinking of Thor Ragnarok. When they
Yeah.
end and like everybody's safely on the ship, and then all of a sudden like Thanos' ship just like pops up and you
Hmm.
see everybody like watch it come and then like black.
But for the time period, I mean, it's like Marvel movies that often resolve those things. I feel like in 6 months, you know,
Right.
because they'll answer the questions in the following, adjacent movie or whatever.
Right, yeah. They sort of get like a I guess a special pass since it's like they can answer questions from one series in like Avengers. You know what
Hmm.
I mean? Like the compilation kind of movie, but still.
Where like Star Wars, I think well, it was at least 2 years, might have been 3 years. I forget
Mhm.
if Return of the Jedi come out in 82 or 83.
Let's
Um,
see. 83.
okay, so yeah, 3 years between each then. So I mean,
Mhm.
you're sitting like potentially your favorite character. Oh my god, for 3 years.
Right.
But I
Yeah, I
mean,
guess I kind of think of it I mean, we're sort of lucky now in that we can have things to compare it to, but I think about it in terms of like Westworld, you know,
yeah,
like
right,
TV series that take long, long time to shoot, or like Game of Thrones. I mean, obviously disappointing, but the point, but the
yeah,
point is you had to wait like terribly long between seasons.
right,
So
yeah, that's true. Well, I don't know. I think I should reconsider. It should maybe be on a list of my favorite or perfect movies because
yeah,
I just
absolutely.
think, I mean, I don't know. Maybe someone would take issue with some acting somewhere, but I think it was probably the best Star Wars film in terms of acting, other
Hmm.
than probably like Rogue One or some of the
Right.
newer ones or something.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually what I think of when I think of like Empire Strikes Back. There are definitely some moments in A New Hope where I'm having a little bit of trouble with like Mark
Yeah,
Hamill.
yeah,
You know, he's just like a little over dramatic, or he's just kind of doing some very obvious acting rather than, sort of like quieter internal acting, but I think he really steps it up for Empire.
yep, yep. Um, Great lightsaber battle, one of the biggest reveals in movie history.
Absolutely.
Shockers. They took such a risk on doing Yoda as a puppet. I remember watching the behind the scenes stuff, and they're like, "This needs to work, or
Yeah.
it's all a joke." Like needs to be convincing and realistic, and
Absolutely.
they nailed it. So, I saw on Twitter this morning someone posed the question like, "What actor would have made an amazing contribution to the original Star Wars?" So like, I don't know, you can take that how you want, like
Ooh,
actor of today or actor that was around then and would have been, you know, alive then or not.
okay. Man, that's a tough question. And I mean, are we thinking like actor like in a new role
Well,
or
I
actor
mean,
in like one of their roles? Cuz that's
either way,
tough.
it's fun to think of that way. So like my first thought was Anthony Hopkins in a new role.
Ooh,
Though he
okay.
could have made
Okay.
a cool Kenobi potentially. He'd be younger, but
Right.
um yeah, I thought like he could be some sort of new role. Maybe he was just some guy or trader or something in the cantina, or
Sure.
I don't know.
I don't know why, but my first thought was Josh Brolin.
Okay.
Like I think he's got like a great like presence and I love like his voice. So I feel like he could do either like, like be a person or lend his voice somehow to
Mm.
something, you know?
Well, if they had stuck more true to the source material for Rogue One, and Kasdan and Jin were one person, and that person was Kylo, right? Was that person was Kyle Katarn? Um,
Yeah.
I could, because I was trying to think who could play him, and yeah, Brolin would be a good choice for that. That would be cool.
Mhm.
That would be cool.
Yeah, just
So
I
that's
feel like
perfect.
he works like in various ways, you know what I mean? Like obviously like he works like lending his voice to Thanos, but then also obviously he works like as a presence in Deadpool.
Hmm. Yep. Cable.
Cable.
When are we gonna do our X-Men episode?
Well, we keep talking about it, so we're gonna have to treat it like Star Wars, where we eventually just decided, all right, enough mentions in our
Hmm.
each individual episode. We're gonna have to like really focus on this.
Well, I'd like to do it when the New Mutants movie is about to come out,
Oh
but they
yeah,
keep
yeah,
like pushing it, and we don't know if it's actually gonna be released ever. Um, my secret hope for that is, so for anyone who doesn't know, New Mutants was a movie and it's got Maisie Williams in it and the kid from Stranger Things and a number of other kind of known-ish people. But
yep,
it's not, it's sort of an offshoot. It's in the mutant world, but not a direct connection or sequel to the other X-Men films.
right.
And it's supposed to be creepier, it has a more of a horror kind of vibe to it, and I thought the trailers looked really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And it was coming out and about to come out when this whole talk of the Disney buying Fox thing was happening. Um, and then like that the deal went through, and then it was too late to stop. What was the Phoenix one? Was it Rise of the Phoenix or something?
Dark Phoenix.
Dark Phoenix, yeah.
Yep.
That was coming out, and it's like, okay, it's going to be the end. But New Mutants wasn't out yet,
Mm-hmm.
so it keeps getting delayed. And my secret hope is that they're trying to work out a way to make it part of the regular MCU and use
Oh,
that,
okay.
like, okay, use that as part of the way to introduce mutants, or like if they can introduce mutants in the mainline things,
Sure.
and this movie can be included. I don't know. That's just my hope.
Yeah, I mean, I'd seen not too long ago that they were planning an August 2020 release date. That was the latest date that they were kind of giving people, but um there's still confusion about that, like if that's like an actual thing or if it's going to have a theatrical release or they're going to do like a streaming, like you can
Yeah,
buy it over streaming. It feels, I don't know. I mean, I know that they've had to adapt to a lot of different things, but it feels a little messy at this point.
yeah.
So it's tough. Like I want to be excited about it and I want
Hmm.
it to go well, but it's tough to feel like, you know, this isn't a little bit of a rocky road for
Yeah,
release.
because there were reshoots, and
Yep.
then, yeah, and then the initial delay and the Fox merger, and
Yep.
then, like, then I don't know, like, maybe they're trying to decide, do we wanna keep this thing in our universe or just release it? Is
Mhm.
it worth it? Is it, maybe it's not very good, and they're like, do we bother releasing this and promoting it and stuff when it's not gonna be part of our universe going forward?
Right.
Um, or maybe it's good, and so they do wanna hold on to it, but then the Corona stuff hits, so
Yeah. Yeah, it's unfortunately it's been plagued by a lot of issues, not always within their control, but
mhm,
unfortunately they make it seem worse. You know,
yeah,
they sort of build on this already like kind of gnawing doubt that fans have.
yep.
So,
Yeah, it'd be nice if they ever address it. Just
yes.
tell us, but they will not do that. I have 100% guarantee of that. So, um, transition. I don't know. Mythic Quest is a TV show I really like on Apple TV Plus. It's to me the one show that's worth it that I've seen. It's really good, and they released a quarantine edition special or something like that.
I
I
saw
think
that.
just yesterday, and
Yeah.
so I'm hoping to watch that this weekend and hoping it's good.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet. But everything I've seen on it has said this is like one of the best episodes
Oh,
of the
cool,
show. Yeah,
nice.
so I was like, cool, that is so great. Like and it's kind of cool that they can do this sort of production while quarantine and COVID-19 are, happening.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see the behind the scenes a bit, because
Yeah,
you can see by the preview like it's taking place over like a Zoom call or whatever.
right.
Um,
Which I think
so
many shows like the Parks and Rec, kind of reunion episode that they
mm,
had, they've had to do.
yep,
But a lot of reviewers were saying this was like even better. So
cool,
yeah.
nice.
So something to look forward to.
Yeah. Um, Well, I'll jump just a little bit because that's an Apple TV Plus show, and Lady Gaga's last music video was filmed on
Mhm.
iPhone,
That's right.
and her new one in partnership with Ariana Grande it just came out last night or 2 nights ago at midnight or whatever.
Mhm.
Did you get to watch it? What'd you think?
I did get to watch it. I thought it was fun. It's I don't think it's anything groundbreaking. I don't think it's anything like totally, revelatory.
Hmm.
But it feels a lot like to me like classic Lady Gaga mixed with a little bit of new.
Okay.
Because I feel like they're telling a story. I feel like she's got this like sort of imagery style that usually is a lot is heavy on kind of weaponry.
Okay.
They've got that like rain of daggers that goes on, and
Hmm.
she kind of starts off injured and wounded with like a dagger in her thigh. And I feel like a lot of the Lady Gaga videos I've watched, they have to do with like different weaponry and
Hmm.
her overcoming some sort of, injury to fight back.
Okay.
Whether it's like metaphorical or actual physical.
Right.
So it kind of like called me back to some earlier Lady Gaga videos, which I thought was really fun. Um, but it's a little less in the same instance, it's a little less you know, lengthy on storytelling. Cause like I feel like a lot of early Gaga videos were like, let me tell you a story, but let me tell you a story for like 5 minutes before I get to my song.
Yep.
And this was just like, I'm just gonna jump in and tell you the story through the song. So
Yep.
I thought it was fun. I I do have a hard time watching Ariana Grande in videos because
Oh, really?
I feel like her face never moves. Like she's making the same facial expression the entire time. Like
Hmm.
especially in this video, it felt very apparent to me. Like her dancing is on point, and I kind of love this like vocal pairing with Lady Gaga, but I
Okay.
felt like her expression never changed and her like mouth shape never changes. So it's almost like she's not really doing it. And it's
Okay.
crazy because she has an amazing voice. And I think like, I don't doubt her talent. She's not like lip syncing or anything.
Right.
But I think when you compare to Lady Gaga, who's so expressive and you
Right.
can just like tell, like, just like feels the passion in her singing, it sort of created this little like, dichotomy for me.
Okay. I'm kind of rewatching it because I watched it in a rush here, but
Sure.
it's um, I love the like tone of it, and I
Hmm.
like this style of what it seems this new album is going to be.
Yeah.
The neon future cyberpunk ish kind of
Hmm.
thing. I like
Hmm.
that kind of thing. Um, I see what you're saying about Ariana Grande. I think she's just trying to be too cool all the time. Maybe
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
wants to maintain her like composure and be sultry, and that's what she's going to do.
Yeah, and I mean, I know that's like I said, I've seen that expression I think in a lot of her videos, so that maybe just like by now her trademark, but it does seem highlighted when you like compare it to Lady Gaga, who just like makes whatever face she's gonna make, and.
Hmm. Yeah, I just so I'm a fan of the video. I
Hmm.
just thought the song was boring. I
Yeah,
was bored by the song.
I feel like the song is fine.
Hmm.
Like I could listen to it in like a playlist of like some pump up jams, or while I'm running or something. It's got like a
Okay,
good beat to like move you forward, but I don't
sure.
really need to listen to the lyrics or something.
Hmm. Well, I don't know. I guess it makes me excited for the rest of the album, if only for if the theme kind of continues, the
Yeah,
style sort of persists. So,
absolutely.
um, well, we were gonna do start doing our split and do our gaming episode
Hmm.
earlier this week. Um, so before we get to a little more gaming news that we all shoved over to this episode, so we go over quick again what we're watching, if there's anything new we'd recommend, that kind of thing.
Yeah. I'm kind of all over the map right now. watching several different shows. But I'm sort of like I'm wrapping up, maybe I would say, a Mindy Kaling phase.
Okay.
Um, because I'd first watched like her show, The Mindy Project, a long time ago and really enjoyed that. Um, and then kind of was like, okay, like I like her writing style. I mean, obviously, like if we want to go way, way back, I love The Office, which, was kind of one of her first big primetime writing gigs. But I feel like she writes quality shows. So I was watching the Mini Project, and then her latest show, Never Have I Ever, was released just a couple weeks ago on Netflix. And I just kind of like binge watched that really quickly because it was just like a fun
Mhm.
um, exploration of, high school, um, like, coming of age, but then also like this really sensitive and kind of nuanced portrait of grief as this young girl navigates like losing her father. So I thought it was like a really great blend of like humor, um, and substance, kind of like a deeper exploration of emotion.
Did they play Never Have I Ever in there?
They didn't, which I feel like was a
What?
missed opportunity.
Okay. Yeah.
But one of the best parts about it is John McEnroe, like the old tennis star, is the
Mhm.
narrator of that show, and
Oh, interesting.
it shouldn't work, but it totally does, and it's hilarious.
Okay.
So
Hmm.
that was like one of the random kind of fun parts about that. But then now I'm also watching the other show that she put out for Netflix, which is called Champions. Um, and it was unfortunately canceled after one season. I can kind of see why. It's not like probably the most broad ranging audience for this kind of show. It's kind of very focused.
Okay.
Um, but it's about a father who owns a gym in like Brooklyn, New York, finding out that he has a 13-year-old son who wants to attend a performing arts school in the city. And then because some scholarship funding fell through, he now has to live with him. So it's them sort of like figuring out their new relationship.
Mm.
And it's cute, but it's kind of like a little forgettable.
Okay.
But if you're looking for just like some laughs, like that'd be a good one. Um, and then I talked about this on a couple episodes ago. I am finally starting to watch Kimmy versus the Reverend,
Okay.
which I didn't know is an interactive show.
Yeah, I learned that the other day too, because
Yeah.
whatever her name is, Kimmy and Daniel Radcliffe were on Watch What Happens Live, and they were talking about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never watched an interactive show before, and I don't know if I like it or not.
Okay.
It's kind of fun. Like, it reminds me of the like choose your own adventure books that I used to read
Yep.
when I was a kid. But it's weird in the sense like you make a choice, but then you like have FOMO about missing out on like you're like, what's the other option though? Like, what does that look
Yeah.
like? So I
Mhm.
feel like I'm gonna have to watch it
That's you
like
gotta rewatch it. Yeah. It's like a
right, like
video game.
I'm gonna have to write down all my choices and then go back and rewatch it and then like pick all the opposite choices so I
Hmm.
know like but then it's like, okay, what if I want to pick like one option here and one option over there? Like, how does that change the story? You know what I mean? Like, how do
Yeah.
I mix and match? So I don't know. It's just
Hmm.
kind of it's a trip.
You're not supposed to think about that. Let's go with it.
It's very hard for me.
I
It's
mean,
like blowing my mind a little bit.
you're choosing the path you want. So whatever you chose, then
Hmm.
that's what you get, and that's what it is. So you no reason to go back and choose the other thing because that's not what you would have chose.
But what if it is? What if
It's
I'm
not because you
what if I have
didn't.
different sides of my personality?
Well,
Or what
in
if
life,
what if it defaults and chooses for me? What if I don't choose in time?
you need a different. Well, I mean, people can let their lives control them, or they can control their lives. So
Ooh, I like
it's
it. You're getting very philosophical.
yeah, I mean, it sometimes Geralt has in Witcher has to choose a split second. Are
Mhm.
you gonna kill this person or not? And you got to live
True.
with your consequences.
I'll write that down, live with my choices.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, and then speaking of philosophical, the last show I'm watching on Netflix right now is called Midnight Gospel, and it's an
Okay.
animated show about a guy named Clancy who hosts an interstellar podcast called
Okay.
Midnight Gospel. And for this podcast, he uses this like, oh gosh, what is it called? He uses this machine. It's a universe simulator, and
Mm,
he like goes to different worlds and interviews people from these like simulated worlds, and they explore like existential questions about like life and death, and like different schools of thought or different religions. I've only watched the first episode, but so the simulator transported Clancy to a futuristic Earth that has been like taken over by zombies. And Clancy meets like the president of the United States while he's like fighting zombies, and they talk about like what life and death mean and what it would mean if you're a zombie. And then they talk about like this Buddhist school of thought about how, altered substances can alter your personality and yourself. And I mean, it's all over the map, but it's really fun. Like it's
okay,
just kind
that
of
sounds
a
cool.
yeah, I would definitely
Unique.
recommend it. It's hard to sort of get into. Like the first couple minutes are a little trippy and you just sort of like have to go with it. But by the end of the episode, I was really like I was fully committed. I'm definitely going to watch some more episodes.
Nice.
So
Huh,
yeah,
never heard of
highly
that.
recommend
Yeah,
it.
it's cool. Yeah, I'll have to give that one a try. Sounds up my alley. Is it just a few episodes, or is it kind of ongoing, or
I
not
think
sure?
it's just 10 episodes right now. So it's not
Okay,
long.
sure.
And there's only one season out.
Okay,
So
cool.
it's not like you'd have to play a bunch of catch up. But yeah, it was fun. I like it. Let's see. Oh, there's only 8 episodes actually. So
Okay,
there you go.
nice.
Can quickly
Hmm,
buzz through it.
cool. Midnight Gospel. Well, in terms of animated stuff, I've been slowly kind of rewatching Yu Yu Hakusho.
Oh, okay.
Just like hot take many years later is that it's better than Dragon Ball Z in terms of action anime. I think it's probably the best one that I've seen. Um, so yeah, going through that again, it's just fun. And Ashley's been watching Ricky Gervais show on Netflix.
Oh, what's that?
It's called Afterlife, I think it's called.
Okay.
And I didn't want to watch it because I don't like watching sad shows, and I just watched all of Violet Evergarden. And but every time I'm in there, like, and she's watching it, it always draws me in. So I can't say that I'm watching it, but the part what I'm seeing of it is really good. So it
Okay.
seems like a really well done show. Um, so I don't
Well, it
know. I
looks like
probably
they just officially announced that another season is coming.
yeah, yeah. That was the one he plugged at the Oscars or whatever.
Oh, right, right.
It's like
Okay.
you can
Yep.
go and watch my show, as
That's
whatever.
right.
So yep. Um, what else am I watching? Oh, Rick and Morty. Yet
Okay.
still up on that. That's this last week's episode was great. Um, that's they're just always good. Um, and not too much else consistently yet, other
Okay.
than Housewives. So been busy recently. I'm not sure what else I'll try to dive into here. We were talking The Boys. I haven't watched The Boys yet. Um,
True.
I
I'm
don't know.
definitely interested in that.
So got to get that watched before season 2 comes out and be even further behind. So yeah, that's all I can think of at the moment now. And then yeah, I'm gonna give that Mythic Quest new episode a shot soon. So
Yeah, I feel like um I'm sort of sticking right now inside like Netflix a little bit, but
mm,
I've been trying some things from Apple TV and I've been a little disappointed with their offerings. Like
mhm,
a lot of things just haven't been grabbing me from Apple TV. So I'm kind
yep,
of bummed out. Like Mythic Quest I like, but I don't know.
yeah. The this was always going to be seem like it was going to be of an issue when
Mhm.
people said they were going to get into producing stuff like this, as they have a it seems like they have a purpose behind most of their shows. So
Mhm.
most of the shows have a like, okay, we want to deal with this topic or this issue, and so they're trying to run the gamut. And so it's like they have, I think, Sesame Street or something on there. Well, now we want a Sesame Street for adults. So we're going to preach
Mhm.
to all of you in these like heartfelt emotional shows or whatever. And it makes it a kind of a one note catalog. You go and look at it and it's
Right.
like, sappy drama, sappy drama, sappy drama, sappy drama, you know,
Yeah.
like
It's a
where's
lot
the
of heavy
fun,
stuff.
and so that's where Mythic Quest stood out to me. It's like, to me, it was the one show that it it deals with a range of issues, but all in an incredibly humorous manner.
Right.
And that was it. And I don't want to listen to, you know, I don't know. It was so much that it seemed one note, and
Mhm.
um, I would still like to give Servant another try, I guess.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
okay.
but
Yeah, it just seems like Apple's catalog is just heavy.
mhm,
And yeah, like all the shows right now are just like feeling very heavy.
mhm.
Like, everything seems to be like this, like, even the images for, the shows are
Yeah,
like heavy, like black and white, people,
yep,
looking dramatically or seriously off into the distance. And it's just like, I mean, that I like those shows. I don't get me wrong, I don't need all fun all the time.
yep,
But, like I've said before, I like a balance. Like,
yep.
if I'm gonna watch a heavy show, I need something to lighten it up, and I just feel like Apple didn't quite get the memo on that.
It's a really big challenge that, you have something like Disney Plus, and a lot of people are like, well, I don't really care for Disney Plus either. All I care about on there is The Mandalorian. And
Right.
we watched some of Jeff Goldblum's show too, or whatever. But
Mhm.
the thing is, they have the catalog of history, so they
Right.
have a lot of content that they produced over many, many, many years that they can fall
Exactly.
back on. So if you feel like rewatching that stuff or haven't caught some, then you have that. And
Exactly.
Apple is starting completely new, completely fresh, and they're dropping a lot of money.
Mhm.
But I kind of wish they'd be doing some stuff like, Netflix is buying the rights to put a bring a bunch of anime over,
Yep.
on their service. Apple could do that, but then it's not like Apple made and approved and whatever.
Mhm.
They didn't hire on the people to do it and all this stuff. And are we ever going to get? Is it ever going to be a great service if they don't just start letting people make stuff and
Yep.
taking things that are made and is looking for a home? It's like, I guess they're going to get Tom Hanks's new film. They paid a
Mm.
ridiculous amount of money for
Mhm.
Tom Hanks' new movie, to premiere there. I don't know if it's going to stay there, but it premiere there.
Right.
You know, so that kind of thing. But
Yeah, we'll have to see what the future holds for Apple TV, but I think right now I agree, like they just need to let go a little bit of their usual control.
mhm,
It's I think making these sort of like media productions is different than making a product. And while control and a lots of oversight can be great for making a product, it doesn't necessarily translate to like creative media.
mhm. Yeah, I mean, because they want to up the idea is that, okay, future is in services. So in order to drive people to our services, we're going to need our own things to offer on those services.
Oh, sure.
Um, but like Apple Music is a service and it's growing a
Hmm.
lot, and they don't make their own music.
Right.
I think they gave some money to certain, to help produce a music video here and there, you know.
Hmm.
Um, but otherwise they're not going into exclusive content there. Um, I don't know. I don't know that they I don't know that they need to make they're worried, I'm sure, about putting their stamp on their Apple TV Plus, their whatever, and now you think that whatever is on there is
Hmm.
representative of what Apple thinks and stands for.
Right. It's your
And they need
brand.
Yeah, and they need to not worry about that,
Yep.
or they're gonna have I mean, but I'm sure they're like, well, that's what Disney kinda does, historically. They're like, well, this is a Disney film, so it's got certain level of wholesomeness or something.
Yeah, but
But
Disney's got history on their side. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
they've made these sort of products for years.
Hmm.
So they have a lot to choose from, and they've done different things with movies. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like like Apple is making, if they're making all of their content now, they're making it, but they're making it all the same. Whereas
Hmm.
like Disney has different, I don't know. I mean, Disney overall is sort of similar, but they have varying levels of like, this is just like pure fun. This is, a well-made story. This is a fairy tale. This is, um like The Incredibles is like superhero. You know what I mean? Like it's just a
Hmm.
lot of different it's a different variation at least on the same theme.
Hmm.
And Apple is just like, they A, don't have enough in their own catalog, and B, what they have made so far is too much the same.
Yep. I don't know what the right answer is. A lot of people, or there is a contingent of people that want Apple to just buy Disney. That's been a
Oh, okay.
rumor. Um,
Interesting.
they clearly have a tight past, you
Mhm.
know, with particularly through Pixar and
Right.
Steve Jobs and stuff. But I, I worry about losing focus. I mean, obviously they're a giant corporation and they could just go buy Disney. But I just, we can have different companies, two different things, can't we?
Right.
Like,
Right. At some point, we
and
don't need to like merge everybody into one giant company
yeah,
that owns everything ever.
and that's a whole nother. It's just a whole nother mess they'd be taking on.
Right.
Then they own a news network, and they own ESPN. And that's which is kind of good, but then you're held liable for all that garbage.
Yep.
You know, when doesn't you know ABC or ESPN have some sort of controversy or when whatever element of the news cycle, and
Mhm.
now that's under the Apple umbrella as well,
Right.
and then you're welcoming um, monopoly kind of lawsuits and litigation against you and stuff that start trying to tear you apart anyways. So
Right.
I don't know. I hope they don't do it, and I hope
I
that
I
they
agree.
I hope they start just throwing more dollars places and put a little thing in there, not representative of what Apple thinks. Maybe that's already in there, but make it more bold and just have give us a variety of content. So
Right. Just let it go a little bit.
yep. Okay, we got gaming things. So speaking
Woohoo!
of Apple, who does Apple Arcade, and that's gaming. We got gaming stuff, and a lot of this is a little old news. So I feel like we don't need to go through it all. But are there some like things on here that interest you? Do you have
Yeah.
things to say? Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's just a few that I definitely want to touch. One is Epic Games is having a mega sale right now. A lot of titles are heavily discounted, but then also every Thursday at 11 a.m., they're releasing a new free game for the week.
Okay.
And right now it's Civilization, I believe it's 6.
6. Okay.
And then for me, which is interesting, Borderlands, the Handsome Collection is going to be free this next Thursday, the 28th.
Okay.
So,
Cool.
and the Handsome Collection is both a compilation of Borderlands 2 and then like additional extra gameplay that can be tacked on, and like
Cool.
other sort of like side missions. So,
Nice. Well, yeah,
yeah,
that's good for you. Are they releasing it on Mac as well?
I
Epic
believe
doesn't have a lot of Mac games, but I
I
know.
believe that they are, but I'm not positive about that.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah,
Cool.
so I noticed one of the heavily discounted titles was Witcher 3. So I was interested in
Yeah,
that.
that just moved to Epic Games.
Yep.
I think could be a news thing. It was Witcher, has been on CD Project Red's
Yep.
game launcher GOG games for forever, I guess, for whenever that came out, and then also on consoles.
Yep.
And so Yeah, now it's an Epic Game Store. That's cool.
Yep. I think it's like maybe 12 or $14 or
Wow.
something. So, yeah,
Okay.
quite
Especially
the
if it
bargain.
comes with all the DLC and stuff. Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, go check that out and see if you can claim your free game and keep watching. There are several others that they're planning to release in the next couple weeks. And there's rumors about what they're going to be, but I don't know for sure yet.
Hmm.
The Civilization and Borderlands are the only ones I know right now.
I'm just not a big PC gamer guy generally.
Mhm.
So I often will go and claim the free game because why not?
Yeah. Yeah, why not?
Um, but I think I've only played one of the free games that I've uh, gathered from the like dozen or more that I have already. So,
Sure.
um, do you have a Epic account? You gonna set one up and
I'm setting one up.
okay, yeah. Like I say, I mean, even if you don't have anything to play it on now, or if you're not gonna play it, you might someday.
Exactly, you never know.
Yep. Um, yeah, I guess Summer of Games things. June 9th is the next time we get to see anything from that.
To say, speaking of PC gaming, it's a Steam event, so,
Oh, right. Yeah. Hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
um, yeah, yeah, it's, gosh, what is that one on June 9th?
What do you mean? June
Uh,
9th? Yeah, I think that's the team one.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then they've got, I think after that, don't they have another, game that they're introducing on the 11th, I believe?
Oh, I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know.
Let's see.
I just knew we had a bit of a
Yes.
break here.
Yes, they're doing a special broadcast on Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh, that's right.
Yep,
Yes.
June
I didn't
11th.
put that in here. Yeah.
Um, so that should be good. I mean, I hope it should be good anyway.
Hmm.
Um, but I'm hoping that kind of overview of Cyberpunk will be more like the Ghost of Tsushima gameplay event that they had, the
Sure.
showcase. Because I'd really like to see, some gameplay happen.
I see.
I don't know that that's a realistic hope, but
Well,
um Ghost of
yeah.
Tsushima, like, to me, that sort of showcase was what gaming should be.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it should have been what, like early summer game fest reveals, and the gameplay that they promised us from Assassin's Creed should have been.
Hmm. I mean, it always just marketing problems.
Mhm.
I don't think anyone would have had a problem if the expectations were set realistically,
Yeah.
because these production companies, they're not going to give up on. I mean, it's very common for them all to go out there on their E3 presentation day, and they half of the things are sizzle reel, really cool CGI trailers for things that
Right.
are will be out in 2 to 3 to 5 years. And
Mhm.
we're gonna get that this year too, I would think, because people do enjoy that ultimately as well. Like it gets them excited for the future. You
Right.
just got to tell people that's what they're getting. And
Yeah,
yeah.
I feel like, yeah, I mean, I think it was a dual, like, we have a marketing problem in that the fact that we said gameplay,
Mhm.
because it so obviously wasn't, but there were, like, 2 games that were doing some gameplay, and I just wish, like, that could have been a little bit longer.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, I didn't need 18 minutes showcasing one game. I liked that for Ghost of Tsushima. It was fun to see. But I could have used like maybe 3, 4 minutes,
Yep.
just running through some quick things or doing a quick demo.
Yep. Well, for this cyberpunk event, I really would rather they just not have one. I don't need to see any more of cyberpunk. It's the kind of the same as with Last of Us, even though I wasn't planning on playing Last of Us 2, like they've been Sony got themselves in this pickle where um Well, that sounds Midwestern to me or something in a pickle. But they where they had these big games, big first party studio games that they had announced, and then there weren't other new ones to announce. They announced them pretty early, so they
Mhm,
had to kind of do this steady pace of content and on those new games. But everybody that wants to play Last of Us 2 knew they wanted to play Last of Us 2, and they didn't need another thing and then another thing and here's another little clip. Like, just stop showing us stuff, you know.
mhm,
But they you'd run into the risk of people, I don't know, losing excitement, I guess, if we don't keep showing you content.
mhm.
Cyberpunk last year, we got like 45 minutes of gameplay. They just You can go online and watch it. They did a really cool sizzle reel trailer, and then they released 45 minutes of gameplay.
Oh,
I don't need anything more.
yeah,
You
okay.
know, there's a behind the scenes music thing.
Mhm.
You know if you want that game or not. If you're not sold, wait till the reviews come out. You're not in a hurry, anyways. Like
Right,
it's so yeah. I just they don't oversaturate because to me, like, what are they going to show then? I guess they can
right.
show more of the like customization mechanics or you know but they already talked through somehow your choices could make a pretty big difference here.
Mhm,
um, they could show us kind of if you go outside the city at all or
mhm.
something, but save some stuff for the game too. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
I see what you're saying.
but
Like,
like Ghost of Tsushima was great. That was a good way to do it because we hadn't seen much from it before.
right.
So
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It definitely, like, there were some hardcore callbacks to, like, for me, since I've played so much Assassin's Creed, like, some of
mm,
that was definitely like, "Whoa, this is familiar," just in a different setting.
mhm.
Um, but there were definitely some unique features that I really enjoyed, and, like, I loved the exploration of photo mode, that was really fun.
Yeah, they did a good job of breaking it all down,
Mhm.
all the different elements. I They released later this week. They want to emphasize because they said it looked kind of easy. Some people said it looked kind of easy to take people down. And they said the combat's very difficult and that you
Yep.
can die in a couple strikes.
Yep.
And so as soon as I said that, I told myself I'm not playing it. I'm out. I'm out. So it's
Yeah.
gorgeous. Seems like a perfect game for me. But if it's going to be if it's a meticulous, difficult combat system, I'm just not interested.
Yeah. Yeah, for somebody like me, it's tough because I like to, I'm very like when I gameplay, I don't like to make a mess. Like I'm very like, wait behind a rock and I'm gonna snipe
Mm,
somebody from far away, or, like Assassin's Creed, I'm gonna like quietly, jump down and assassinate somebody. Um, so that's sort of like melee play where you have to like wait till the last second to, parry and then open up your enemy. I have no sense of timing for that. I
mhm.
have I have timing when I'm like, far away and I'm by myself and I can do a distance strike. But when I'm in the middle, it's just like suddenly I'm just like, oh my god, I have to kill everybody.
Mhm.
So that would be hard for me to do the waiting
Yep.
game kind of thing and
And
be
I,
very
I
precise.
I get like a bunch of gamers that are watching it and be like, "Well, you just got to get good," and I get it. Like I understand, but that getting good isn't fun to me. Like
Yeah,
it's
it's
not
it's tough.
fun. It's
Yeah.
not that you can't sit and grind through something and learn that mechanic and get good at it, but
Hmm.
that's not enjoyable. Like I want to progress through the game. Like Breath of the Wild. You can I've seen some people doing combat in there. It's incredible. Like
Hmm.
the way that they can do their I forget what they call it in there, but you basically your parry, and
Yeah.
they'll like use switching to different weapons very quickly to reset cooldowns on items and like all this stuff. There's depth to the combat if you want it to be there. But I beat the story of that game without doing any of that, like being
Okay.
very not very good at it ultimately. And it was still fun. It was a challenge, but I could do things the way I wanted, and I have a blast with it. So like giving me the option to master something if I want to put that time and effort into it,
Mhm.
or to play something and have fun with it. You
Mhm.
know, other games like Horizon Zero Dawn or Dishonored are good examples of how you can be really stealthy for a while and it's really fun. You're taking some guys out, and then someone catches you, and it's like, oh shit. And then you're just going guns a blazing, taking them all down, and it's
Mhm.
fine that way too. So you get, a game where it's like Metal Gear where you're sneaking and then you're caught and then it's done. No, that's not fun. That's not fun.
Right.
So, but for me, like I know other people
Yeah.
have, that's just
Yeah,
fun to play.
it's one of the troubles I'm having right now with Borderlands is
Mhm.
actually, like, the amount of times that I have to get used to dying,
Mm.
like, just to progress through the gameplay is sort of frustrating for me. Like, I get that, like, I'm not gonna be able to do everything well right away, but
Mhm.
sometimes I feel like I'm almost dying too much. Like, I'm almost at the point of learning how to do something, and then I'm dying. And I'm like,
Mm.
"Well," like, it's not really teaching me because I need, like, an extra moment or 2 to, like, figure this out, but the second I figure it out, I'm dead. So that's really frustrating. And it's not like I can't come back and do that same thing now with what I've learned, but it's like you're taking the moment of learning for me almost and punishing me for it.
Yeah, there's definitely, I think, gaming is huge right now. But if you look at
Mhm,
like where most of that, a lot of that market is in casual gaming,
mhm.
and a lot of people get scared away by hardcore gaming, whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
by gaming, because um, Ashley's dad is a good example.
Okay.
He used to work for Gateway. He actually started playing video games because of him on PC. They
Mhm.
played Doom and stuff and Half Life, and he played for years Left 4 Dead 2 and loves playing that.
Okay.
But now, like he doesn't want to have a PC build and like sit at a desk and all that stuff or whatever. So it's
Mhm.
like you can try playing on a console with a controller. Well, it's a difficult thing to learn when you're not used to it.
Very
And
true.
games aren't there. There's a, it's kind of like if you pick up a, a phone today, there is an accrued knowledge of understanding of that technology that
Mhm.
if you've grown with it, you get it.
Yep.
Like tap to open something, hold, drag, swipe, all these gestures and different stuff is just
Absolutely.
obvious. But that's because we started when it started
Mhm.
and progressed with it. And if you're trying to get into gaming and you're not 5 or 10, where you're just a sponge for knowledge, for sucking up everything,
Mhm.
um, and you haven't grown with it, games are not often designed for that person.
Right.
So, you know, if you've played mostly Resident Evil a lot, and stuff,
Mhm.
that's a very specific kind of slower control scheme and movement and stuff.
Mhm.
And so to move to something that's faster and more frenetic and stuff, yeah, it's a learning experience that they're not assuming you need when you
Right.
start that game.
Right. Which is tough because, I mean, I'm gonna keep sticking with it because I like the gameplay, but I could see somebody not as determined just being like, "Well, forget
Yep. And then you stick with it and you'll be amazing. You'll think, that was silly. And then
it."
that will translate to other games. Then you'll
Yes.
go to the next thing and it's like, that was not, like you'll have that, muscle skill now and stuff or whatever, muscle memory on things.
Right. Right.
But um, yeah, I don't know. I sometimes it's like, well, I guess that's why they make easy mode. But
Yeah.
I feel bad putting things in easy mode. So
Yeah.
it's
I
just a
mean,
me problem.
no, I don't think so. I would have trouble with that too. It's because it feels sort of a little bit like a cop out.
Mhm.
And I mean, to somebody who's not like, you know, that interested in gaming, it probably wouldn't, just because it's more casual, so you don't like get so invested in it. But I don't know, for me, I don't want to play on easy mode either.
Yeah. It's like you don't buy the abridged version of a book, a great novel,
Yes.
unless you must get through it as
Yes.
quick as possible for something,
Right.
project or whatever.
Right.
So
Now you're speaking my language. Never buy the abridged version.
yeah,
Boo.
Spark Notes.
How dare you?
um, but yeah, I guess let's say Ghost of Tsushima does look like a great game. Looks gorgeous. Looks cool. Um, yeah, you already said what you're playing. You're playing Borderlands. Yep,
Yep.
first one.
And I just saw Chris start Borderlands 3. So I was watching some of his gameplay. Just, for
Hmm.
fun to see what's kind of coming up. And it looks amazing. Like I'm super excited to get there. I mean, I know I'm gonna get there in like 5 years because Borderlands is so long. But it looks really fun and like some of the cool things you can do in Borderlands 3 I'm excited for. So
I think you need to attempt to get over your "I must start with the first one" thing.
I mean, I might skip 2, but
Okay.
I feel like starting with Borderlands, like the original is Alan's shaking his head at me. How dare you? Alan's about to bust into this conversation,
Yeah.
giving me a talking to. um, but no, I feel like I wanted to start with Borderlands 1 and maybe I don't need to finish it before I start another Borderlands, but like I needed to start with the original just to like get into the world. It's like the same thing I have with like movies. Like
Mhm.
I need to get into the world. I can't just like skip over something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe
So
it's a problem with my brain, but
I heard
that's
this
how I work.
discussion a little bit a couple weeks ago or something on like, so are there games that will be timeless, like film kind of thing or whatever? And
Yeah.
someone brought up a good point of how the technology, we're like in video game world right now. We're like
Mhm.
in the uh, black and white days or something, or silent
Oh.
film era. So go back now and watch a silent film, and yeah, there's some that are definitely enjoyable, but they're not the
Mhm.
same experience. They're A lot of them don't hold up to the standards of today, and a lot
Mhm.
of films before, particularly the French, got their hands on film and kind of invented the language of cinema. um, we that those things would be odd to see too.
Right.
Now, for so long, film has been a mature thing, and the language of cinema has been like used and broken and like reshaped, and like it's a thing now. So you have issues sometimes. Like if you always have to go back to the first game, you're like going back before the rules were set. It's like it's not necessarily an enjoyable experience today because
Mhm.
of how much we've progressed.
That's
And
true.
I'm not saying that talking about Borderlands. I'm just saying, like, for example, Witcher, like the growth between Witcher 1, 2, and 3 is
Mhm.
insane. And if you want to play Witcher 1 and you think you're going to play through it and get all the way to 3, if you want to take a challenge and be a hardcore gamer, you go for it. But if you want to have fun, you don't do that. Most people just play 3. I would
Mhm.
recommend you play 2 as well, but like,
Right.
not all games are like movies where you're missing out on something if you don't play the predecessor, because the mechanics and the quality of life things may have been changed so drastically from the
Mhm.
original. It's not even the same thing.
That's that's honestly a little bit how I feel about Assassin's Creed.
Hmm.
Like playing 2 versus, playing something like Black Flag, that's wildly different.
Yep.
And
Yep.
it's simply because of mechanics.
Yep. And Assassin's Creed brought a lot of things to the gaming world and was big for its time. But
Mhm.
I think that if you did not play those games when they came out, they're not going to hold up the same way.
Yep.
And you're doing yourself honestly a disservice sitting there for 40 hours slogging through something when you
Right.
could put that 40 hours into a beautiful masterpiece of a game that takes place later in the series. And it literally, I mean, there's a lot of people that gaming is their fun. That's what they do. So they're going
Right.
to pound through that and it's fine. Like they're going to, but a lot of people like yourself, you read books, you watch movies, you're on the TV shows, and you have a social life. Like why would you spend 50 hours in a game that's subpar to
Right.
something that is come out 10 years later?
Right.
And, so,
Yeah. Well, speaking of Assassin's Creed, we put out a poll for me to play an Assassin's Creed game. We had
that's
four
right.
choices. Yep, we had Brotherhood, Unity, Revelations, and Black Flag, and we ended up with a tie. Nobody gave any love for Brotherhood, so that's totally out. But we ended up with a tie between Unity, Revelations, and Black Flag. So we
I'm
could
pretty sure.
either. Oh, what? Go ahead.
Well, I'm pretty sure I voted for Black Flag, so that's when you should do.
Okay, well, I was gonna say we could either do like a random, like kind of chance or choice right here, or I could play Black Flag because even though it was a tie, um, the Twitter like math divided it out between 33% for Revelations, 33% for Unity, and then because it's, divided by 3 and it needs to equal 100%, it tipped Black Flag up to 34%. So technically it wins.
I thought that was because my vote was more important. Uh,
You can go with that. But so I'm guessing you're going to say we should follow the Twitter math and go with Black Flag.
I the reason I chose that one is because of the ones you gave as options, it's the highest average score.
Oh, okay.
Or you just look at scoring, look at reception, and of your choices, that's the best received.
All
So
right. Well, it is decided. I will be starting Black Flag.
nice, nice. And then if you like Black Flag, you're gonna be set because the same company that's making Valhalla.
That's right.
So it might be an easier transition that way.
Plus, I'll get to, have some experience sailing ships.
Yep. Hmm.
Sailing in Black Flag might translate to sailing a Viking warship.
Yep.
It is Black Flag is the one I remember watching Chris play most intensely. Like so I
Okay.
remember like I can remember some of the gameplay most intensely.
Yeah. I actually remember him saying how he liked that one so much,
Yes.
and she's like, "Oh, I hate ship things. I hate ship combat, all that." But she's playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey now, and
Mhm.
she did some of the ship stuff, and she's like, "Oh, that's pretty cool. Actually, that's pretty fun."
Okay.
In that game, you have your ship and your crew, and I guess you can kind of customize it some or something. So she kind of likes it.
Right. Well, good. That's a good incentive for me to get over my reluctance to do ship battle as well.
Yeah, yeah. The she's missing out. She hasn't got to play much recently, but
Mhm.
mostly she spends time in there. It seems just taking selfies with the statue's junk.
I saw
Um,
that. That's pretty great.
seems to be the running theme.
Why not? Have some fun with it.
But no, she's into it, and likes doing the Spartan kick in there. That's very satisfying. And
Absolutely.
in honor of it, she bought some like gladiator sandals, a couple pairs and stuff. So
Nice. Nice.
yeah.
I like she's getting into this.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're not in trend right now or whatever, they're not all there was a while they were all over the place, so not anymore, but
Well, she's gonna bring it back.
bring it back. Yep. Yep. Then you got your mobile games you're playing, huh?
Yeah, I mean, just my normal Pokemon Go and Wizards Unite.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I've been mostly playing just socially.
Mhm.
So like Fortnite and Paladins with brother-in-laws,
Yeah.
Warzone with some friends here and there. Played the Killing Floor 2 the other night with Alan and stuff. And so like often I find myself I jump in and play these games, and it's like
Mhm.
that enough time dedicated in a day to gaming that I
Yes.
shouldn't go into something else. And I feel bad about it because like, well, but ultimately a lot of times I just enjoy the social aspect of gaming. So
Absolutely.
that's and then I'm playing Animal Crossing
Of
still.
course. Like
Check
like
in.
much of the rest of the world.
Yep. Mhm. So I have started. Assassin's Creed Origins. I've started a number of games. I just haven't gotten back into them
Sure.
recently. Yeah. Oh, that's our like smorgasbord episode. Our
Yes.
run the gamut, kind of all over the place episode.
Yeah. I mean, we don't need to always have focused episodes. It's just kind of,
No,
what's
no,
going on.
yep,
There's a lot of different stuff going on right now.
right. So I know we said it last week, but hopefully this week we'll get into splitting our gaming and rest of things,
Mhm.
um, splitting that up a little bit. That'll be good.
Yeah, we'll be back for
And
our Wednesday kind of midweek break podcasts.
yeah, yep. Then you can pick your pick your poison or
That's
drink
right.
all the poison. Um, as a reminder, make sure you like and share and subscribe and follow and all the different variants of whatever those things are and the social media stuff. Um, we try to post things on Twitter, and you're doing Facebook, and
That's right.
give us ideas for shows. We definitely have some ideas, but give us more.
Yeah, if you think we're missing anything big, let us know.
Yep. But well, we already determined I like it small, so they're not too big. I forgot.
Yeah,
I forget. Yeah. So
I don't like the big ones.
yeah. All right. Well, you have a good weekend. Thanks for joining me.
You
And,
too.
hopefully we'll have less technical issues next time. And
Yeah, hopefully
tune in next. Oh, go
I'll
ahead.
have returned from my sojourn to the medieval times there.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, tune in next episode to find out. Have a good
Bye
day.
guys.